Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. And we have a very interesting sort of meta side video to Bachelor Nation here. We've got the Sultan of Spoilers, Reality Steve, fighting back after several commenters on Reddit tried to get him fired from a local pageant judging gig. I mean, very, very niche news here today in Bachelor Nation. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. For behind-the-scenes content, go to patreon.com/DaveNeal. So I want to share with you guys why this post by Reality Steve led to folks trying to get him fired, and then Reality Steve's response. And let me tell you something. He doesn't hold back. So we're going to get into that. Now, if you're like, all right, Dave, but more about your wedding weekend, I got to tell you, tomorrow, early morning, late tonight, depending on who you ask, Tasha and I, my fiance, my better half, some might say, we'll be heading to Mexico to tie the knot this week. Ta-da, ties the knot in Tulum, as it were. And I've got some videos fresh, shot live right now, actually, on the live stream. If you want to go to Patreon, you can see me learning some dance moves. I'm sharing all of these dance moves with you guys. I'll show you real quick. I'll give you 5 seconds. Here's my fiance and I. Oh, this is a good clip. You know, don't watch the clips where I stumble. You can watch us make mistakes. But here's us 7 days into ballroom dance lessons. And I can't play the audio because it's a licensed song. But here we are, getting ready for the big spin. We have a lift. We have some spins. We have a pivot move. Pivot! Tasha's judging me. Keep your arm up.
You know, what's funny is, like, in that move, my feet fell off.
All right, so there we are, and I got to tell you, I'm actually surprised. I think we're doing okay. I don't want to jinx it. We're waiting for the final product. So anyway, go to patreon.com/DaveNeal for all the behind-the-scenes wedding news, and for all the people that have sent me PayPals, Venmos, Zells, wedding cards. So much love has been poured our way. Thank you guys so much. So a couple weeks ago, Reality Steve posted this. Well, looky who's going to be a judge for Miss Dallas on October 8th and 9th. First time ever judging, but looking forward to it. Thank you, Miss Dallas Pageant, for the invite. And then after that, there was a thread that said, Reality Steve will be judging Miss Dallas USA. Thanks, I hate it. I can't help but think of the way he sexually harassed Demi. And then some in the comment section, and I'll get to the comments in a, I'll read the comments first before I share his response. Someone said, same, I feel like a lot of people are going to reach out to the organization and he isn't going to be on it anymore. And then someone said, can always count on Reddit to interfere. And like clockwork, they reached out to the organization. I'm going to share what Reality Steve had to say about what they told him when they heard that Redditors were trying to get him fired or canceled or whatever you want to say. And then someone responded here and said, he apologized for, took accountability, has donated to shelters that house domestic abuse survivors, deleted the Jenna post and most posts before 2016. Need I go on? And then someone responded, why are you being a sexual harasser, creep, apologist? And I had to look up apologist because it's one of those words we know but didn't really know the full definition. A person who offers an argument in defense of something controversial. Critics said he was an apologist for colonialism. I think we misuse the term apologist. No one's saying that Reality Steve's the thing that he apologized for. No one's saying that he was justified in his actions. Everyone's just saying he's adjusted his actions, apologized, had a pretty good apology, and is having a discussion moving forward about what went wrong. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that people move forward and progress and continue to show examples of how they have moved forward. So again, I'm about to share what Reality Steve had to say, but look, he's not in my payroll and I'm not on his. I made my first video, I believe, about him 1 year ago, Reality Steve's full apology, vows no more personal relationships with Bachelor stars. I made this video a year ago, and then as I found out, he watched the video and said, you know what? Dave gave me a fair shake. Is that an apologist? I don't believe so, because I'm not condoning his actions. I'm just saying, look, the apology hit all the bases. He understood what he did wrong. And within that, he talked about his positions of power and how he has learned that he actually is in a position of power where he didn't exactly know that was the case. This power dynamic was just never something that I ever knowingly thought about or held over anyone's head. That is the God's honest truth. All right, so you can go watch the full thing. It's all online. It's there. And then we had videos. Demi's side says, own the fact you were being a creep. And he has. He said, yes, I was being a creep. Chatty Broads called him out. And of course, I had an uncomfortable conversation with him a year ago, 70 minutes. He discussed everything. And he continues to sort of keep his life out there. Now, with regards to this scenario, here's his response to finding out that those online were coming for him.
And my participation in judging the new Miss Dallas, or crowning the new Miss Dallas, and being a part of that over the weekend. And I do want to mention this to start out with, and I'm only bringing this up because it became personal.
Whoa!
I have no problem when people don't, like my podcast, like my writing, don't care for me. If they don't like me, that's fine. I mean, I only care what people who know me think about me, not strangers on the internet.
But it still
so
sucks.
When I get criticism about a podcast or my website or anything regards to my work, it's like, okay. I mean, obviously everyone's allowed to have an opinion. I'm not going to be universally liked. Nobody in this world is universally liked. However, I do want to bring up this for people that don't know. About 10 days ago, when it was official, I've known I was going to be a judge for Miss Dallas since March or April, but couldn't say anything for obvious reasons. And when I was officially announced, which was, I believe, about 10 days ago or so, it was on the Miss Dallas pageant Instagram page. There were some trolls, and I found out they were trolls from Reddit who went to the Miss Dallas pageant Instagram account and criticized them for having me on the judging panel and wanted me taken off the judging panel, which is utterly ridiculous. Anything I've done in my past has nothing to do with me being able to sit and judge a contest like I did this weekend. I'm sorry.
Now, I don't even know. I don't know how it works with Miss Dallas USA. I know in the past there's some pageants that have like the bikini contest and some have a talent show. I know a lot of you guys out there have been involved in the pageant world because you've let me know, and that's totally fine. I think in some aspects, I know former Miss. I've worked with former Miss Universes, Miss South Carolina USA, and we met Miss America and some others, Miss USA, whatever they're called. Point is, it's a launching pad to other opportunities. It can be good charity and this and that. And also, you've got former president who either owned or operated the old Miss USA pageant and would watch contestants get dressed backstage. It could breed creepiness. So, and I don't necessarily feel this way, but I guess some of these Redditors felt like, oh, he shouldn't be judging them, as if judging equates like oogling over them and getting their DMs and going out to Olive Garden with them after. I don't believe that to be the case. But I guess that's what their thought is in trying to get him canceled, I guess.
It's obviously these people have a narrative in their head, and for them to take the time and get involved in my personal life, and like I said, say what you want about my podcast, say whatever the hell you want about my website, that's fine. I don't care about that stuff. But when you start getting involved and trying to get me removed from something and start bugging the director of the Miss Dallas pageant with your emails and saying he sexually harasses women, why is he being a judge? What is he qualified to do so? First off, you don't have to be qualified to be a pageant judge. One of the other judges on my panel, Leonard Madison, was a first-time judge as well.
I love that that's the take. Listen, you don't have to be qualified. I don't have a pageant judge degree. I didn't go to pageant judge DeVry University. I just showed up because I've got, whatever.
So you might want to criticize them for putting him on for being a first-time judge. That didn't matter at all. And I learned so much this weekend about the pageant industry, which I'll get into momentarily. The other two judges were the current Miss Louisiana and Miss Oklahoma. They were great. Ashley and KT, had great conversations with them all weekend. I hope to have them on the podcast soon. I really want to talk pageant world with them and what they went through at Miss USA a couple weeks ago. So I do want to say that. I'm very well aware that it was Reddit that did this because the director of the Instagram account, is the director. And the reason why it bothered me so much is because the people that went and complained that I was a judge on this panel don't understand. First off, you're
By the way, when I think of judging a talent like Miss Dallas USA, this is what I immediately think of: the Hunger Games commentators. You know, do you wear sparkles, glitter? How does it work?
Your reasoning about he shouldn't be a judge, what qualifies him? First off, you don't have to have any sort of qualifications to be a pageant judge. Number two, I hope you realize that the reason I was asked to be a judge dates back 10 years because the director of the Miss Dallas pageant this past weekend is a friend of mine who I met at a charity event, I want to say in 2010 or 2011.
By the way, keep watching. Reality Steve is about to deliver a chef's kiss of a swear. Just, you know, you never want to overly swear, F this, F that. It can water down the swear, but a just well-thrown fastball is saved at the end here.
Whose daughter, Emily Lights, ran the Emily Smile Boxes and still runs the Emily Smile Boxes charity because her younger brother had seizures in the womb and had multiple strokes in the womb. And when he came out, he was blind, he was deaf, he had cerebral palsy, and he lived for 7 years. And I have always supported that charity for the last 10 years. In 2 weeks, they're having their annual casino night, which I'll be attending as well. So just know,
cancel the casino event.
Out of your day to bug the Miss Dallas Pageant Instagram account. You were bugging a woman who I've known for 10 years, and I've supported her and her daughter's charity for 10 years.
Emotional here.
I've shown up to box-making events, Emily's Smile Boxes. You can Google it and look it up. I've gone to the casino night that they've had, going in 2 weeks again. So that's why it really bothered me, and it really pissed me off that people took the time out to do that, because they didn't know. If you did any homework whatsoever, maybe you wouldn't have done that. And maybe you wouldn't have taken the time to bug a woman who was not only going through what she's been through in her life, but then was also putting together a pageant as the director of Miss Dallas, and she had to deal with your bullshit emails about this guy shouldn't be a judge. So, you know, don't think I will ever forget what Reddit did there. Hilarious that they didn't succeed. And I knew they wouldn't succeed because she's a friend of mine. And she said, Steve, don't worry about it. We're just deleting any negative comments. And I said, that's fine. And I'm sorry that this happened. But they were never going to take me off the panel. And for you to even think for a second that you had any sort of pull, go fuck yourself.
Whoa!
You cut the crap.
Oh, what a dismount! Hey, I'm judging Reality Steve judging a Ms. Dallas USA, and I give him a 10 on the dismount. Love him or hate him, you got to give him a 10 on the big FU at the end there. All right, so that's where he stands. He said, "All right, look, here's the deal. If people did get him fired, they would take a victory lap. They didn't get him fired. Now he's taking a victory lap. Them's the games, folks. That's how it's played. And you guys know I'm gonna have a ton of content coming your way this week while I'm off at the wedding. And here's an interview I did with Reality Steve that's going to be airing first thing tomorrow morning. There's so much amazing stuff here. So without further ado, the Sultan of Spoils, the Godfather of Gossip, and the Titan of Tea, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Reality Steve. All right, so you'll see this, actually. We have two 19-minute part 1 and part 2 for Tuesday and Wednesday. We've got Game of Roses is going to be on the channel. We've got Jess from Chatty Broads. I talk with our friend Marilyn, who wrote a dissertation on Bachelor Nation. So you're actually in for a treat. We've got over a dozen really awesome videos. The best way you can support my channel while I am out is to keep liking the content, keep commenting on it, and watch it and share it with your friends. Here are all the videos right here, guys. I've got all of these scheduled for the next 4 or 5 days. So many good things to talk about, so many podcast reaction videos. So you guys are in for a treat. And look, as far as whatever you think with Reality Steve in this situation, he's entitled to defend himself and he's entitled to move on and keep pledging to be better. People are also entitled to share their opinions on his hiring and can write to sponsors. They can do that as well, and they're both in the clear there. But that's why it benefits you to own your own platform and have your own newsletter and have your own social media, because you can fight whatever narrative other people want to have about you. All right, folks, that's it for me. We'll see you guys later. Bye now.